the championship final of the 23rd Annual NIBS Worldwide Business Case Competition. At this time, we ask that you turn off all mobile telephones and devices. As a courtesy to the presenters, please do not leave the room until both the presentation and the question and answer session are complete. Please note that recording of presentations is strictly prohibited, except by competition organizers or representatives of the presenting team. The team presenting today is DIT College of Business. The presentation will last a maximum of 20 minutes. She will indicate when you have 10, 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Team members, please nod after seeing each sign to confirm that you have seen it. You must stop when she indicates that the time is up, even if you are not finished. After the presentation, the judging panel will have 10 minutes to ask questions. She will lift a sign to the presenters and judges when there are 5, 3, and 1 minute left. Please nod after seeing each sign, and remember, you must stop when time is up, even if you're not finished. I now invite our judging panel to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon. Happy for me to be here today. My name is the CEO, I'm Edgar, and I wish you all the best.
Matilde Willow, I'm the CMO.
I'm Jorge, I'm the CFO.
Hi, I'm Nancy Chacon, I'm the COO.
Hi, I'm Oscar Rojas, the CIO.
The team will begin the presentation. Good luck.
Hello everybody, and a special welcome to the board of Ufinet Telecom. You are in the business of connecting people all around the world. We are in the business of connecting the dots for your company. So we are going to provide you today with an organisational structure and a strategy for you to grow and grow and grow into the future in line with your parent company's vision. So just before we start, I'd like to introduce our fantastic team. So to my left, we've Orla, our business analyst. Across the room, we have Sean, our financial analyst. Beside him, we have Ahmad, our situational analyst. And myself, Keith, our marketing analyst. And we are Connection Consultancy, and we believe we are the final piece to your puzzle. So just to start off, the mandate for today is to provide a fibre optic connectivity in an agile, flexible way that is underpinned by your commitment to your customers. The deliverables on that is adjustment to the company structure, new strategies in place, and driving growth. We'd just like to pass you out now over to Ahmad.
Gracias, Keith. Picking up on the language as well. Just to take you through of how things will look for your company in the future. So what are you guys currently doing now? Currently you have high revenue streams and your margins are growing in the industry. You have worldwide network of operations, and you have, but we believe you need an organisational structure revamp. How things will look in the future, the company will be the company infrastructure, will be stabilised. You will become global leaders in the telecommunications industry, and you will be leveraging competencies and synergies. And how this will take place, you will re-evaluate your marketing structure. You will have a dedicated marketing and sales team, and also you will be bundling offers. Just to look at your internal and external analysis of your company using the SWOT framework. And just to reiterate some of the strengths your company has, you've developed its own reporting systems, which we believe will be very, very beneficial for you guys down the line. You have digital networks of more than 7,000 kilometres around the world, which is very, very good to see. And you have covered around 56,500 kilometres in fibre optic cables in Spain and the Latin American region. And you're in business currently for 19 years. And you have 4 satellite hubs again in Latin America and in Spain. Just to look at some of the weaknesses your company possesses, we feel the HRM, Human Resource Management, is a serious issue your company is currently facing. There is a consistent change of management which is also not helping your company. The short-term growth, we believe, is a problem. we have identified, and also, like mentioned on the previous slide, you guys are not leveraging on your competencies. Just some of the opportunities you guys may look at the deregulation of markets for entering purposes, signing of the new IRU contracts, which will be long-term contracts, the domination of your home market, the Spanish market, and also the objective, like Keith very viciously said, grow, grow, grow. And you could use that slogan to build your company in the future. You can leverage by doing an IPO, which will further financially stable your country. Sorry, not your country, your company. You can file, fiber optic broadband you can leverage on, and also leasing part of your network. Some of the threats your company faces, the competitors building their own networks, which will be a leasing problem. You guys can't lease the new competitors coming in. It takes around 4 to 6 years for completion of a takeover if another merger or acquisition was in place, and you're not being prepared for a takeover. Just to take 1 point each from the SWOT analysis. So what would your one main strength be? You've developed your own reporting system, which we believe is a major strength. And one of the weaknesses we believe is consistent change of management is not helping your company. The opportunities is the domination of your home, the Spanish market, and one of the main threats is, like I mentioned earlier, competitors building their own networks. Just to take you through a regional overview of where you operate, your presence in Latin America and in Spain. You have HQ functions in the Spanish market with over 20,000 employees. Your network linked with more than 2,300 cities worldwide. And you provided fiber optic transmission to operator customers. You provided voice and data support to your customers also. Your satellite offers for faster distribution capacity. And the Latin market is facing huge growth. And finally, just to take you through a competitor and a customer analysis. So what is the information you provided us? These are your 3 or 4 main competitors. Iberdrola, I think that wasn't as good as the grass gas, but the network of 18,000, they have a network of 18,000 kilometers, and they are also fiber optic. I think this is easier. Red Eléctrica de España. They have 17,000 kilometers fiber optic installed underground power for lines. And finally, Telefónica provide telecommunications globally and also lease a part of the network. And some of the customer analysis, your main customers are telephone and communication operators. You utilize other media companies also. UFINET provide companies with solutions to manage and maintain their network, and 90%, that's a typo there, 90% revenue came from long-term contracts that had high renewal rates. And just to pass you on to Sean, who will take you through the pastel analysis.
Muchas gracias, looking at the value chain here, firstly from a production perspective, equipment, you produce a service, so you supply equipment for data centers. You have a dark fiber network where people can lease and build, and you build networks through IRUs, which are indefensible right of use agreements. You have 46,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable. And in terms of your research and development, we believe there's potential for future investments within this area. There's growth areas like cloud computing, high-speed internet, and stuff which Keith will allude to later on. And these are potential future growth drivers for your company. Looking at your marketing and sales, your sales are either B2G, with business to government, or business to business. Your revenues are 136 million euros worldwide, but you have no dedicated marketing or strategy team, which we believe needs to change in order for your business to grow further in the future. And also you have a lack of short-term sales growth, which you feel you need to improve in order to grow. Looking now at your HR, when you merge with your first merger, staff were let go when the company was growing, which is a bit of a downside when you need staff in order to grow your business. And also there's different company culture going from different owners. There was more European culture with the second, so the first company took you over in 2009, and But the takeover also kept as Latin American style culture, which was very important. And also you've got a lot of long-term staff in there for many years since they were trainees and then stayed there for the rest of their working life. Looking at your IT and logistics, you set up your own IT systems. Obviously, as the CEO knows, you were once the CEO of Amadeus, so which is an airline check-in system. So you set up your own IT system, which then developed into a better control system. You're originally reliant on your parent company's systems. Now this has changed. You also have a huge worldwide network, IT network. In terms of your company infrastructure, your ownership has changed several times, as I said. Company culture has become problematic in that sense. Under the CNET leadership, your company style became a lot more flexible, decentralised, and great autonomy was given to country managers. And also this aided agile decision making. I'll pass you on to order for problem identification.
Thanks, Sean. So we just picked out a few problems from your company. So the first big main problem that we found was the organisational structure. The second then was the growth. The third being your future uncertainty. The fourth being the increase in your market share. And then finally the long-term stability. So from these problems we've identified 3 options which I'm going to present to you now. Just keep in mind that we believe that the organisational structure and a good structure is the fundamental roadmap to success. Oh, and staff inefficiencies are also a problem. So the first option then is the integrated mechanism. So the goal of this would be to the integration at the business level and the corporate level to leverage knowledge and to gain scope. So the cost of this would be the difference in cultures. The benefit then would be the ability to transfer knowledge and the knowledge networks that you have, and you have a greater coordination. The challenge then would be different functions and the second option then would be vertical differentiation. So this would be through decentralisation. So this would be in line with your mission, your vision and your values. So the cost of this would be the changing of attitudes and staff that have been there for quite a while. So the benefits, it's, as I said, it's in line with the mission, the vision and the values, and you have the ability to adapt to the customer needs. And you have more control and flexibility, which is one of your values. So you have quicker responses. And also it gives you the ability to make better decisions. So the challenges then would be the extra costs that will be involved, the increasing of the team. It's not going to be as consistent, and there could be duplications in decision making. And then there's a lack of authority also. Option 3 then would be the horizontal differentiation. So the goal of this would be to create sub-units for formal decision making. The cost then would be the slower decision making process. The benefits would be they're structured, you come up with the right ideas, they're consistent, and there is a bit of control. The challenges then would be the time constraints, the values and the missions wouldn't be in line, and you could be missing out on growth opportunities. So we evaluated these options in terms of growth, stability and control. So they're ranked 1 to 3, 1 being the least favourite and 3 being the most. And growth was ranked 2 to 6 because we believe that growth is the most important. So we've identified virtual differentiation through decentralisation as the best alternative. As I said, we believe that it's the fundamental to success. So just going back to the problem of growth, future uncertainty, the strategy to increase market share and long-term stability, we believe that with option 2, the decentralisation, that it's the best organisational structure and it will help with growth. So Keith's going to take you through the implementation.
Thanks very much, Orla. So just before we go through the strategy that we're going to present to you today, the 2 lads across the room have given you a great overview of your internal and external analysis, giving you some key insights from that analysis. Orla has very well presented you with the options facing your company and giving you 3 very different options, and we believe the option 2, diversification, is going to help you grow into the future. So that's going to be through a decentralised strategy. So I'm just going to take you through of how that's going to look. So as you can see, the board of directors on top and the CEO, but across this whole level of your firm structure is going to be decentralised. So that means the business development, day-to-day operations, the marketing and sales team will have power to make decisions, quick response to those decisions. So this again is in line with your mission, which is to be agile and flexible and commitment to the customers. And also with your vision, which is the global pace setter for telecommunications operations. And again, in line with your values, This decentralized operation will allow you to be flexible, agile, and have a strong commitment to your customers. And we feel that this is the best way forward for your company to grow and grow and grow. So, just going to take you through. Just going to take you through the staff problems that are facing you. This is one of the problems that we identified in our analysis. So, just the business development, again, we're going to encourage for them to keep looking for the mergers and acquisitions going forward. They are going to manage your medium and long-term position and decide what country to enter in next. But the big problem that we found out was that there was no men on the ground, essentially, no people going out there and making sales for your company. So that's why in the firm infrastructure you saw a marketing and sales team. So they are going to be providing the growth at the local level, and this is going to be through a B2B strategy. So on the ground, a reactive strategy in line with your mission and vision, and in line with your core values of your company. So now, just to go on to the market strategy. So now, how are we going to do? How are we going to get people using the fibre optic network? So the Latin American. What does the Latin American want? They want the market is showing global internet traffic, and they want a bundling increase with broad cloud computing, high-speed internet access, and explosion of information. This is what the Latin American wants. We've seen in the graph that you provide to this, there's a massive increase in the mobile usage, massive increase in the cloud, and the things that I mentioned there. So this is going to be a bundling service, again, targeting telecom operators in Latin America. So again, it's going to be a B2B social media strategy, not necessarily targeting the customer, but targeting people inside these businesses. So it's going to be individual businesses. So the campaign is going to be hyper-connected, and it's going to be through LinkedIn and Facebook, and it's going to be where these people are operating, so they'll be able to see the new service that you're offering to these people. So just to go through, as we mentioned earlier, you aren't leveraging the synergies that you have at the minute. So currently, with the acquisitions that you had last year, you currently have 40,079 fibre optic network that is just waiting to be used, and you currently aren't doing this at the minute. So, and this is across 12 countries. So this bundling service, this market strategy that you have is going to allow you to do this across all the countries. And again, you can use the data collected from all these countries to again improve your marketing strategy going forward. And also, with the decentralized structure, this will allow quick decisions, reactive decisions, and allow you to really tap into that local market. So now, I'd just like to pass you over to Sean.
Yep. So looking at the financial figures, we gave a 2-year projection of what it will actually cost in order to bring the strategy forward into the future. So in terms of marketing strategy and new staff, we calculated this as 7.5% of the overall company net revenue, EBITDA figure from 2013, as we felt we need to get these figures from actual profits rather than forecasted figures. This is a 4.32 million cost in euros per year over a 2-year period, excuse me. In terms of the organisation structure and process changes, this is a 5.7 million euro figure over 2 years. This is 10% of your EBITDA figure from 2013. In terms of your total cost of new strategy, this will cost 10.1 million over a 2-year period. In terms of our total sales will increase from 46% of your revenue in Latin America. It will increase to 50% of your overall company revenue, which will give a figure of 66,255,000. And this, obviously, as I said, this accounts for 50% of the overall company revenue. Just pass you on to Matt to take you to the implementation timeline.
Gracias, Sean. So what will happen in 0 to 1 years? So Monday morning, what will happen? You will begin evaluation of the company structure, and you will start the HR process of hiring new marketing staff, and you will now have business development to continue their work, as Keith alluded to earlier. By the end of the year 1, your organisation structure will be fixed. And 2 to 3 years down the line, the B2B marketing strategy fully rolled out, you will see an increase in sales and also have a stronger presence in the Latin America market. And you can also, if this model has worked, you can use this model in other markets. 3 to 4 years down the line, you will reevaluate changes made in the company structure. re-evaluate all marketing strategies to see if anything needs to be changed. And you can also invest in new technologies such as the dark fibre network, which we believe 5-6 years down the line that will become huge, and this will make you a global leader. Finally, just to take you through the risks and mitigation, the risks of failure of new marketing strategy, we believe the likelihood of this is very, very low, and you will re-evaluate your marketing campaign to see if anything needs to be changed. Failure of new organizational structure, and we believe the chances of this are very, very low, and you will re-evaluate decision-making processes. And the product bundling failure Pete spoke about earlier, and if that fails, we will focus on the dark fibre network. And so what was the mandate? Just as we've thrown a lot at you, and some Spanish words. The mandate was to provide the fibre optic connectivity in an agile, flexible way that is underpinned by your commitment to your customers. And the deliverables we believe we have hit on are adjustment to your company structure, a new strategy in place, and this will furthermore drive growth. Muchas gracias. Thank you for your attention, and the floor is open to any questions.
Thank you, team. Judges, the presentation was 19 minutes and 11 seconds long. You now have 10 minutes for the question and answer period.
Thank you for your time. I would like to start with a question with regards to how will we continue to take advantage of the strengths gained in the past takeovers, translated into the new organizational structure you are proposing?
We believe that the strengths will be the management have gained all the expertise and knowledge. It will be there. The decentralized strategy will enable them to make the process, make their decisions faster, and so you could utilize the strategy in a better way.
I think just to add to what Hamad was saying, it's just this is now a new level, a new organizational structure that has been brought into your company. Your company has gone through, I think it's three structures in the past. So, and again, your CEO has been vital in that he's been the core person throughout the whole structures. So this new structure is just another way for your company to develop, to learn from the processes, to see what works, to see what doesn't work. So we feel that it's actually just more knowledge for your company, so that you can again get the positives out of all the structures. And then if a new company takes over and you have to implement, you again have more experience across 4 structures now. So we feel it's another positive, another feather in your cap, essentially.
In your proposal, you're suggesting a decentralized organization, but you also see opportunities in finding synergies for the region. To me, that's a little bit of a contradiction. How can we achieve the right balance on finding those synergies if the decisions are being taken locally?
Yeah, I think the synergies were just in relation to the new marketing campaign that you have. So in relation to the data that you're going to collect across the marketing thing, the decentralized thing. So all the components of that structure will be able to communicate and synergize with the different benefits that they've learned from working in the market. And it's just to synergize that we're just trying to get across that you have 12 countries with fibre optic network across all of them. And just to synergize that network to provide a bundled service for a telecom provider across all the Latin American countries. So that's what we were trying to get across in regards to the synergies across the marketing campaign.
Hi, as you recognize, our objective is to grow, and grow. Making money for sure. And you are telling us that with the new structure, we will grow. And on the other hand, we have a pipeline of projects. Some of them will be profitable or seem to be profitable in the long term, and there are others that are in the short term looks profitable and in the long term will get lost. taking into account these two situations, what's your advice? How we will make the decisions of which branch we will go on to get sustainable growth into the future? We don't want to be here 5 years more. We want to be here 25, 50 years more making money.
Just what Keith said in his slide over here, the bundling services. The bundling services are the cloud computing, the fibre optic network, as well as the broadband. We believe that this is the way forward. And once this bundling process is in place, the consumers will come in, your consumers will come in and say, we're getting a whole package over here, and they will buy your future. And this is the long-term strategy we believe that's in place.
Just as what Matt said, also from your figures we gained, we saw the broadband penetration rate in Latin America growing. So we believe through the broadband penetration rate growing, we believe that the areas like cloud computing, high-speed internet access, explosion of information, investment in these projects long-term can gain long-term also can gain profits, but also in the short-term by leveraging our competencies with the marketing campaigns and the product bundling, we can generate short-term revenue also.
Right. To grow and grow and grow, you need, you bring to us a new strategy, okay? And you know that the new strategy needs a change management, okay? And change management needs two resources, people and time. In human resource, what do you think of what do you consider to find these people to fit the change that you propose?
Just in regards to this structure, the main deficiency that we saw in your company in regards to growing was this marketing and sales team. So we feel you going out and sourcing these marketing and sales team that are really relevant, are really aware of the market within this Latin area. We feel this is going to allow you to grow and grow and grow. And also just for the small and long term and development in regards to acquisitions and this, in regards to the business development team, we feel will still work and keep continuing to do that work, as we feel they're doing great work at the moment, as you've recently acquired 2 companies, and we aren't going to stop what they're doing, but we feel at the local level for you to grow and grow and grow and take advantage of the extensive fibre optic network that you have, you need this marketing and sales team in order to tap into that local area. And we feel that your leader at the minute is definitely, your CEO at the minute is definitely someone that is able to control and lead all these different areas.
Please show me your cost slide. You have the investment of yeah, that's it. My question has 2 parts. One is, are those 3 the only cost? Are there any other costs other than those that we see there? And that sums up about 20 million, give or take. And the second question is, do you have any way of explaining to us any financial rationale or any return measure that supports those 20 million investment?
Just in terms of the cost, these are the main costs we want to forecast for you. So in terms of the marketing strategy, new staff, generally the marketing strategy from our analysis point of view is around 15% of your revenue. So this, we decided to go with a 7.5% revenue because we do want to focus all of your 15% marketing budget on just the Latin American market. We feel it warrants enough, 7.5% is a sufficient measure. As it's nearly half your market. So we basically got 5% of our 5% of your 2013 net cash figure, and it was a 4.32 million figure. In terms of organizational structure and changes, we feel that a 10% figure was warranted for this because it's such a major structural change, and with your operations worldwide, we felt that this figure was justified. And just in terms of total sales, these increased to 50%. So we through the strategy, and also we felt this would increase your Latin American sales to 66.2 million, excuse me, of your overall company revenues. In terms of other costs, there also will be other costs in terms of leveraging competency and things like that as well. These are the main costs we factored in.
I would like to go back to the marketing side. Is there a focus on the Spanish market? I didn't see anything on the Spanish market. One, the second, you mentioned a couple of times that you want to be a global leader. And how about the competitor analysis in that regard? How are you going to achieve it?
Yeah, just in regards to that, I should have mentioned that when I was presenting the slide. This is just mainly focused at the Latin market because we see the most potential growth in that area at the current time, just based on the graphs that we presented with. But we feel that this marketing strategy can definitely be used in Spain down the line, and it's definitely. Oh, sorry. Definitely something that can be replicated and used in the Spanish market down the line. So yeah, it's definitely something that can be replicated. It's just we decided to prioritise the Latin market in relation to the growth and
Just to add on what Keith said, in our implementation timeline, we have 3 to 4 years down the line. We will have 3 to 4 years down the line. We will be looking. You guys will be looking to go in towards fully forced in towards the Spanish market.
Yeah, and just in regards to competitors, we believe that the organisation structure that we have will be able to be ahead of them and have a really good competitive advantage, be able to leverage all our different companies.
One last very quick question. This company has been successful relying on the experience of very few people. Now, if we decentralize it, how do we make sure that we don't lose our culture and the know-how?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to lose. Sorry, did you say we're going to lose the know-how?
No, how do we make sure that we don't lose the know-how and the experience that this has had?
I don't think we are, because since we are leveraging our competencies and synergizing, and since we are doing a decentralized strategy and going into, we're localizing different things, I feel like we're going to gain more knowledge and it's going to be more beneficial.
Yeah, just to add to that, sorry, can you just repeat the question?
Sorry, time's up.